Good evening, everybody. This is Hunter here, and I'm here with Scott. Scott, how are you?
I am I'm good. I'm podding. That means I'm good.
Well, I mean, I'm good because I always love getting to talk to you and review things. But what we're reviewing is not a pleasant occasion, and it is a dare I say a monster mess, if you will. We are talking. I can feel the eye roll from Denver.
Hey, hey.
uh,
It's perfect. It's a perfect fit for what we're talking about.
Very true. We are talking about Monster Truck, and Jesus Christ, man. So you know they're doing the Emoji Movie this year, right? Which we
Mm.
will be seeing, and I know all
Oh,
of us
just
will be
hearing
seeing it.
that, hearing those words, just I'm already getting angry.
And then we have the Barbie movie next year.
Uh, well,
So
see, I
so
can see
yeah,
honestly, I can see the Barbie movie being better,
I could do actually as sad as that is.
especially if you got Pixar to do that, then like the Barbies from Toy Story.
Yeah,
That would be
exactly.
awesome.
Yeah, that would actually be funny, but it's gonna be like Sony or some shitty
Mm-hmm.
studio doing it. So, yeah. So normally I'll take notes like on my phone, right, when I'm watching stuff from home. Um, I'll try to do it in the theater, but I don't want to be that asshole on his phone. So I just kind of commit what I can to memory. But when I'm home, I'll take notes. I'm gonna tell you right now, I just got this new notepad from work, and I probably filled up 2 pages worth of notes on it which which talks about how good it is, maybe.
You'll find out soon.
Yeah, but so let's jump into the plot for this. So Trip, that's his name, by the way. So right
That's
up,
like this is where you start with this movie. Is this guy's name Trip?
yeah. So right out the gate, we're starting strong.
Oh, it's so strong.
Played by Lucas Till, who is Havoc from X Men First Class. That's the one thing I remember him from.
And also in
So
high school, apparently.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So in X Men First Class, he was too young, but it's almost like an in joke in the comics that the teenagers are way too old to be teenagers.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, fine, whatever. But this kid was too old back in back in 2011 to be
This
playing
guy's
this
my
character.
age.
But holy shit, I knew I recognized this guy. He's the love interest from Hannah Montana the movie.
Mm.
God damn it, I knew. Oh, son of a bitch. That explains so much. But um, this guy, God, he's
The,
27.
like
He
like
he's
the, the opening shot is them is him basically him on a bus with like these
yeah.
kids like they look like maybe what middle school high school kids should look like they look like kids, and then there's
Yep.
like his huge fucking face there right standing next to this girl, and you're like, this guy has a butt chin, and like you can see him holding back his 6 o'clock shadow or whatever, like 5 o'clock shadow. But I feel like you're not selling it at all.
No, he. So the other thing about the okay, so sorry, plot. So he's a high school quote unquote senior, and he comes from a broken home because why the fuck wouldn't he? And I think they're in North Dakota. I think. I mean, as many jokes as I make about Boise, I know Boise at least has potatoes and gravity. I don't think they have either in North Dakota, but so they're in this small ass country town where the evil oil company, they run the
The
town.
most
Uh,
overplayed plot in the history of movies.
yeah, so this movie reads like an ad lib. It's like, what rules over small towns? Oil companies, perfect. And then like it's insane. So basically, this oil company, who's ran by Rob Lowe. I'm
I know
sorry,
this is so weird,
yeah, like I was looking,
and he's got like a weird like southern accent too that I don't get.
which he is missing. He is
Mm,
missing
mm.
badly. I mean, oh my god, because like sometimes he's in the accent, and then he goes back to like Chris Traeger from Parks and Rec, and then it's like someone said, "Hey, you're not doing the accent." Oh shit. Oh wow. And it's jarring. My ears were confused. It was like, wait,
It
what?
it was it was super super obvious.
so he's the evil oil rig company. I'm sorry, this is fucking stupid. But basically, all you need to know: monsters come out because they're drilling,
Which is
and then
the origin of these monsters is just like so incredibly hard to believe. Like they're
yeah,
living in this subterranean, like massive high pressured lake. Like what this it's just the whole thing is I feel like they really wanted to call this movie Monster Trucks, and they're like, we want some monsters in trucks. That would be a great idea. And then that's all they got, and they just kind of put some shit together. I was like, there's a movie for you.
you know this movie. There's one movie. The way I would have given this movie a fan fucking tastic is if the pool, because it looks so similar, was the pool from Power Rangers, and then we see them like turn into Zords. That would be fantastic if they were able to connect this shit. And Trip was the Green Ranger.
Even if they try to
Fucking fantastic.
transform, like I'll take that.
Yeah, yeah. But this movie, man, look. So I will say this: this movie sucks. And I just to share a couple of my notes here. Why is Rob Lowe here? That is on there. When the aliens initially escape, the people who are working, in like the oil rigs or whatever, they are so nonplussed about the fact they just saw aliens just escape out to the wilderness. They're like, oh, that was crazy. Monotone, just like that. Giant fucking aliens, and they're like, oh, whatever. Like, I saw one of those yesterday. What makes you so fucking special? Like, it didn't make any sense. The so they start this kind of rivalry with this other kid, who's kind of hating on Trip, and he's got the hot girlfriend, and his truck looks like a fucking Hot Wheel. It was one of the most hideous paint jobs I've seen in a movie in I don't know how long, and I just wanted that truck to explode to be honest in the movie. But so I'm just going through my list. Why is Rob Lowe in this? Lucas still looks way too old to be in high school. Why is Danny Glover? Why is Murtaugh in
Mm.
this? Um, and then the other thing, before I kind of kick it back to you, Trip is an asshole the whole
He really
movie.
is.
There's genuinely no point where I went, oh, he's a cool dude. Like, there's this girl who's actually very attractive,
he
like
just
following
he
him
just pays her
around.
no attention.
Yeah, like he couldn't be like it's like Downton Abbey levels of disrespect. Like he's like I can't be bothered.
Well, she's like, even like multiple people throughout the movie are like, oh damn, like you're fucking hot, like you're like his mom and like in his like stepdad or like, oh, you should have girls chasing you around everywhere, like everything about him being hot, and then this chick comes in just all over him, like whatever, yeah, not a big deal, happens all the time.
It was genuinely worse than Natalie Portman, Jane Foster, and Thor. Like how she's just ready to give it up. Like I don't even know who you are. You got that hammer. Fucking hit me in the face with it. Like it's all it's all yours. This girl is stalking him basically. Where she's like, hey, we have tutoring. Oh yeah, I can't do it that day. Okay, I'll come to your work. They never explain, by the way, how she finds out where he works. She just shows up
Yeah, it's
at
kind of a little bit creepy. Like she's like super into him.
yeah, it's a little Christian Grey-ish to be
Mm,
totally honest,
yeah.
because she just shows up at. By the way, he works in a junkyard. I feel like there has to be some sort of regulations on high schoolers working in junkyards, but
Yeah, she just like shows up at the fucking junkyard too, like by herself. Like
yeah, and
that's
and
not
she
real.
and she even says like, hey, like yeah, it was scary walking over here, and I just thought, well, why the fuck did you walk over there? Why didn't you call him first? And then
That's not realistic in a movie about monsters in trucks called Monster Trucks.
and then she guilt trips, and then he has the nerve to say when she goes, hey, I'm a little scared to walk back myself, he goes, can you just leave? I was like, Jesus Christ, like, do you want her to get
He's
like
such
fucking
a dick to
assaulted,
her.
you asshole? And even by the end of the movie, he really hasn't gotten much better. It's not even like a redemption story with him. But Scott, I'm gonna throw it back to you, man.
I,
Your kind of thoughts
I
on this
I
shit.
was a little bit sorry for Thomas Lennon because I feel like
I was
I
too,
really love him, especially in Reno 911.
of course.
He's played some great characters, but I feel like he got stuck with just a horrible script with some random people. You're right. Like I feel like why is Donald Glover in this? Like why
Danny Glover. Don't insult Donald Glover like that.
Sorry, what did I say? Danny
You
Glover.
said
Sorry,
Danny
Danny
Glover.
Glover.
You said yeah.
It's
Danny Glover, not Donald Glover.
just extremely random. Like the cast was weird. It's like really, really thin plot that you could just tear apart really easily. It's the environment versus oil companies. Like, it's always the environment versus the man, basically. And
Well, especially right
the
now.
the well, yeah, but like the way that it comes about, and these creatures come out, and they're like cuddly apparently, and like how nobody's afraid of the only people that aren't ever afraid of him are Trip and Meredith. And Meredith, when he shows her, is like, "Whoa, that's weird. What's that?" Oh yeah, that monster that is in my truck. It's just so nonchalant about it that I feel like it's so unbelievable.
He
Uh,
accepts it way too quickly.
yeah, and they're like buddies, like just this random thing that lives in the ocean. Like this thing is out of water, right?
Yeah.
This thing lives underwater its entire life, and it's just like driving trucks, like these huge trucks around, like above sea level. Like they're out of the water. Like why? This is ridiculous. And then they finally find the water, and there's like 1,000 of them at the end. Sorry to spoil it, but they find their family, and they're in their little crack. They just swim to the center of the earth, and it's just like that's how that shit ends. Like that was the point of that whole movie, and you wish you had never spent the time to watch it. It's one of those movies.
So I will say right now, I don't know who scored this movie, but they should be shot because the score on this was it was so whimsical. It was like they listened to the DuckTales theme and they just went, let's do. But you know what I mean? Like let's do a really shitty version of that over and over again. This is E.T. Free Willy if someone with Down syndrome wrote it. This is so horribly written. I was sitting there thinking, so, no one went over this the second time. This was one of those things that was written and they were like maybe reading off the script or whatever, and they would cross off one word, change it to the words that they needed to make it a decent sentence and move on. This was so incredibly bad, but I will admit there was one thing, Scott, that got me, man. There was one thing that actually got me. Um, the monsters, man. The main monster wasn't called
Did you fall for the
Creep.
monster?
So so I
Did you?
gotta admit,
Was
man,
it was it cute? Like, was it too cute? Because I feel like it turned
it was
out it
cute.
turned out pretty cute, but then like what they were trying to do with it was just the most dumb.
Okay,
Like
look,
the whole movie was like I get it. I get what you're saying. Sorry, continue.
yeah, no, you know, I think what me, I can't even remember what the creature's name is. I think it calls it like
Oh,
a very
Creech. He calls it
creature,
Creech for
creature,
creature.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
a smart one.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's great the movie makes that comment where the girl goes, "Oh, you're not dumb." And he's like, "What?" And then they just move on. And I thought the same thing. I went, "Oh wow, you're not dumb. That's amazing." But um,
That was I.
Cre-
Sorry
Creech got me, man. I'm
to. Yeah.
sitting there
Mhm.
and there was just like you pet the top of his head. He's all cuddly. I'm just like, "Oh, you're cute." And it would be better if you were in a better movie. But because Lucas Till, God bless him. Oh yeah, he stars in the current MacGyver reboot. By the way, that comes on Friday nights on CBS. Free plug, you're welcome.
How
But
old is he in that
um,
one? Like
I
15?
I don't fucking know, man. I haven't watched it. I just see like they show the promos during like Criminal Minds, which I actually do watch on occasion. It's like, oh, don't forget MacGyver on Friday. It's like, why? But but this the Creech kind of melted my heart a little bit.
Hmm.
There's this point where
He drove that truck right into your heart.
he he did. I just and he gets reunited with his parents, which by the way I saw one review and they went, oh, shocked the other two creatures were Creech's parents. I just went, really? You couldn't figure it? It's like, Jesus Christ, how did you not figure that out? But their reunion I thought was actually really sweet. Like he like snuggles up against them. I just went, okay. I'm like, movie, you're breaking me down a little bit, but you have to keep in mind anytime Creech is on screen, Lucas Till is there, and and Lucas Till is a satellite blocking the sun. He's like, anytime there's any brightness from Creech, Lucas Till shows up to snuff it away. And if I think what would have worked better, for I kind of throw it back to you, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of going off my
No,
solo
no, I'm
here,
enjoying it.
but if they had casted a kid, like a 14-year-old kid, someone I think kids could actually fucking relate to,
Mm,
because he or her, he or she is their same age. If they kind of went like the more the Super 8 route with it, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like actually having kids or fucking Stranger Things, like one of the biggest things right now. You really didn't think about casting actual kids? I whatever. Anyways, but that I think would have helped a lot of the movie's problems. I think you can kind of go, you're like, okay, it's a kid, you know. The first Harry Potter movie's not very good. It's like, okay, like the kids are at least, you know, putting something into this. But Lucas, still, you've been acting for a while. Your ass should know better. And anytime he was on screen, he seemed like he could just not give a fuck less for being there. It felt like his agent, maybe he was playing Russian roulette and he had to pick a script and he happened to grab monster trucks by accident or something like that. It's just, this movie's really bad. And as much as the creature effects did kind of, you know, it did melt my heart a little bit, at the end of the day, I just went, this sucks. There's just no reason for this to exist. Throwing it to you, Scott, kind of your thoughts.
You bring up a good point about like if it were a kid, maybe because it could relate. I didn't know who this movie was aimed at. Like
I could not agree more.
because you the way it plays out is more of like a kids movie, but they throw in really like serious. It's like it's too serious to be a kids movie, but like way too improbable to be any sort of like drama, suspenseful movie. So I just didn't know where they were what they were trying to aim at this. I mean, like you look at the cover of this like promo, and it's like a cartoon truck with squid tentacles coming out of it all crazy. Like it looks like a comic like for meant for children. It's like I apparently that's what they're going for. I'm not sure what the audience was here. Like not to mention Trip. I mean, you already kind of said enough about Trip. I don't think I need to berate him further, but I don't know, weird Rob Lowe just ugh
Yeah.
that like that it was so obvious. Like he was you're right, he was fading in and out and uh I I I mean I at the end of the movie, I wasn't mad at it. Surprisingly, I thought as I would be because I kind of like that Trip was such a dick to begin with. I actually chuckled a little bit, even though
Fair enough.
I don't think they were trying to. I think
I don't
like
either.
if that amused me. And Creech wasn't like a horrific representation of a monster. It was just you like you said in a completely different movie maybe, but man, I don't usually give movies this just 'cause it make me mad, but I really didn't like it. I think I would give this an F.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, fair
Because I
enough,
didn't, it
man.
did push me over the edge. You know, like some movies really push me over the edge, but this, it was very close.
Fair enough, man. And the thing is, look. So I'll just say, like I said, Creech just melted my heart a little bit. He really did. I thought all the creature stuff was kind of sweet. Um, but goddamn, this movie just doesn't need to exist. It comes back to that. There's no reason for this movie to be here, and the human characters, you know, God bless them, sometimes trying. I thought Thomas Lennon actually was fine.
He
I thought
was,
he
he
actually,
definitely was.
yeah, but my God in heaven, I was really sitting there with Lucas Till, and I was struggling watching this, man. I and then his friend Sam, who's played by Tucker Brizzy, the redheaded kid who kind of looks like a fat Pete Wrigley from Adventures of Pete and Pete. Kudos if you get that reference. He, their interactions are just really awkward, and it doesn't seem like they're friends at all. And by the way, this movie is the king of coincidences. Marriage, marriage Meredith, I think is the girl's name.
Uh-huh.
So he needs to hide out from the government, who's trying to. Which, by the way, they never even give the I don't think they even give the
And
organization the name. They're just kind of like they're here, whatever. Um,
nobody else is involved, by the way. Like the cops are like whatever about these
yeah,
random dudes. I don't know.
yeah, I love that. Like the sheriff is just like, oh hey, I feel like there's like a bunch of shit going on, and the sheriff is dating Trip's mom,
Yeah,
which
which
is
is super
laughable.
weird.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
again, coincidence city, as I mentioned, but so so Meredith, I think that's the girl's name who's crushing on him. They need to hide out for a day. She happens to live on a farm that has a big giant open space that they can go ahead and hide out in. And oh yeah, my dad never comes here. Why the dad never goes to his own farm? Okay, what the fuck ever? Why not? And then they're on the run from the government again. And oh, my dad has a cabin out here. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, seriously, it is just coincidence, goddamn city with this movie. And um, I will say one thing I did laugh at really hard, before I get to my rating, is that the government just doesn't care. The government is willing to kill this kid, and I did find some morbid humor out of that because whoever the evil government guy is, it doesn't matter. He tries to pretty much ram Trip and the monster off a fucking cliff. I went, Jesus Christ! Like the government's not fucking around. So I laughed at that in a very morbid way, and then he actually pushes the sheriff off a cliff, which I laughed really hard at. Just no disregard for him, just rams him off the side of this cliff like it's nothing. But yeah, this movie it's dumb as shit, it's and the more I think about it, the more I feel my grade dropping. So just because Creech was cute and that did help a little bit, I'm gonna be kind and give it a D minus because
hooray.
I
I
know.
think this might end up on my bottom. Well, I guess this was 2016, wasn't it? I didn't even realize that.
Actually, no, I think it came out in January technically. So I think
Oh,
I
you're
think
right. 13th of
yeah.
January.
There you go.
Ooh, perfect. I didn't know. Make a mental note.
I gotta be honest with you, man. It might be on my six too because I was just sitting there and I wasn't angry, but there were just some things that just genuinely pissed me
hmm
off about it. I mean, seeing that. By the way, Danny Glover's character, when they say, "Oh yeah," when they show these monsters off, he just goes, "Well, I'll be," doesn't freak out at all. I went, "Are you fucking kidding me? These giant
People are
goddamn
so
monsters."
mellow about him. It's so
Yeah,
crazy.
like they're clearly on the best weed ever because they're like, oh man, these monsters are crazy. Cool, but like they all talk like Leo from that '70s show, like Tommy Chong. They're just like, whatever, cool, monster, sweet, just nonplussed completely. But this would be so dumb, god damn it. Um, but guys, have you seen Monster Trucks? I, I hope you
I hope
haven't,
somebody
but
else has seen this, just to witness, I just want people to witness this monstrosity. Ooh, pun intended.
nice. The only thing that does bring me joy about this is that I paid a whopping 99 cents to rent this.
I'm glad I didn't pay anything. Thank you for that,
Yeah,
Hunter. You're a nice
you're
guy.
you're welcome. I figured I didn't want to contribute $2 to this movie, but guys, let us know what you thought in the comments below. Subscribe to us here on SoundCloud at the Real Pineapple 775. Follow us on like us on Facebook at the Real Pineapple. Follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. Follow Scott on Twitter at,
Moving first.
and follow Mr. R. Bud Collin on Twitter at the Real REEL O'Neill. Guys, thank you so much. This weekend we will have reviews up for Snatched. I King Arthur's Sword of the Stone, or
There's a
the Sword
sword
of
and a
Stone.
stone in that movie.
Yeah, that one. We're just gonna review Sword of the Stone. We're not gonna
Perfect.
see King. We're not gonna see King Arthur. But and then I'll have my long overdue top five ways that Fox can fix the X Men movies going forward. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.